Fox News. Breaking news.
I'm Gary Franchi reporting to you from just outside the West Wing, right where that ballroom is being built, where a radical Obama-appointed judge just tried to stop President Trump from building it. A ballroom, privately funded, no taxpayer dollars, and the left is calling Trump a king for wanting to improve the people's house. But wait until you hear how the president just torched these activists and what one congressman is now saying about federal judges who've completely lost their minds. Now, folks, this isn't about a ballroom. It's about whether one unelected judge can override the president of the United States and what happens inside his own residence. Think about that. FDR built a swimming pool. Obama built a basketball court, both privately funded. Nobody said a word. But Trump wants to give America a world-class ballroom for state dinners with foreign leaders, and suddenly he's a dictator? This is judicial tyranny, plain and simple. And if they can do this to the president, if they can block him from improving the White House with private donations, what do you think they'll do to your property rights, your freedoms? This fight is personal, America. And speaking of being prepared for anything the radical left throws us, when an unelected judge can block the president from building a room with private money, you realize just how far the left will go to control everything. That's why I trust My Patriot Supply. They're America's #1 preparedness company with over 3 million customers who refuse to be dependent on a rigged system against them. Right now at preparewithgary.com, their best-selling 4-week emergency food supply comes with an additional week for free. That's 5 weeks of security for your family. When radical judges are trying to run this country, the smart move is making sure you control what matters most. Go to preparewithgary.com and get that free week of food while supplies last. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what's going down with this ballroom battle because the left is having a meltdown. And President Trump, he's giving them exactly what they deserve. Now, check this out. First up, a CNN panelist just went on air, absolutely dismantled the media's hysteria over this ballroom. And he makes a point that left the other panelists speechless. Watch how they try to spin this and how he just shuts them down. Watch.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the middle of a war, and that is such an important point. And the president is walking around with giant renderings of a ballroom that no one has approved, that he just has come up with out of his own mind. There is a tone deafness here, and it's part and parcel. I mean, with all the other things, his name is going on an airport in Florida. Okay, fine. He wants to put his name on the Kennedy Center, which is also going to be challenged. He put his name on the Institute of Peace. He's signing currency, which has never been done before from a sitting president. This is stuff that you see in let's put it this way, non-democratic nations, not things that you see in the United States of America.
Are you guys really that mad about the ballroom? I mean, honestly, there's a giant hole in the ground now. What are we going to do? Just leave it there? When you get the government involved in building stuff, ask the people in California what happens when the government gets involved in building stuff. You don't build anything. There's a big hole. I agree.
This is like saying, we burned down the house, so what are we going to do?
Yeah,
I guess we have to rebuild it. He tore down the ballroom.
At a private contribution.
I think it's fair for Americans to be upset about what he tearing down the East Wing.
Which I think has tremendous historical value that nobody even bothered to save anywhere. I am pissed at what he's done to Jackie Kennedy's garden. Is it the thing I'm most pissed off about? No, I care a lot more about the people that have gotten killed in the streets of Minneapolis. But I think it's pretty outrageous that he is acting like a king and destroying history.
Should we leave it?
Leave it what?
Should we leave a hole in the ground?
No, maybe we should ask architects and a board of people that know this.
Maybe he should go to Congress.
Maybe he should go to Congress.
I don't mind that. If they want to approve it, fine. It's being paid for by private donations. If Congress needs to put a single line in a bill that says, by all means, build a ballroom, fine with me. You could probably get the Republicans to do that.
Why do you think Trump
president has wanted, by the way, a bigger and better facility?
But why do you think Trump didn't bother? If he was going to, if this was such an easy ask, you go to Congress, you ask them to just, create a little line. They don't have to appropriate any money, no problem. Why didn't he just do that in the first place?
Well, they have a different legal interpretation that they don't need it. A, B, and again, you get government involved in building stuff, and things simply just don't.
But they are the government, Scott.
Did you catch that? Trump could save a kitten from a tree and it would still be a scandal. Exactly right. And notice how the other panelists tried to take the whole thing like he's a king, make that a talking point. He fired back perfectly. If Congress wants to approve it, fine, but it's private money. The government is not spending a dime. We'll wait until you see how President Trump himself responded to this whole king nonsense. This next clip shows the president absolutely destroying the left's latest smear. They want to call him a king? Watch how Trump turns their own attack right back on them, and it is savage. Watch.
They call me king now. Do you believe it? No king. I'm such a king, I can't get a ballroom approved. Pretty amazing, right? I'm a king. If I was a king, we'd be doing a lot more. I'm doing a lot, but I could be doing a lot more if I was a king.
I'm such a king, I can't even get a ballroom approved. That's the line right there, folks. The man who they claim is a dictator can't even get permission to build a room with other people's money. If Trump was half the tyrant they pretend he is, that ballroom would already be finished. And Congressman Lance Gooden just dropped some receipts that destroy the left's entire argument. They're doing the lawn out here at the White House, but this is huge. Congressman Lance Gooden is calling out the blatant double standard. FDR, Obama, they all made changes to the White House, but listen to what President Trump says about this judge's ruling and why he says the judge is completely wrong on the law. Watch.
Do you have thoughts on that? And also, a judge just ordered you to stop construction of the ballroom. Are you planning to stop?
Well, we'll appeal that, but it's not, I don't know, it's basically, I mean, I wrote a part of his opinion, but basically he's saying I need congressional approval. And he's so wrong. This is being financed privately. It's a donation that's being given by companies, very rich people, so that for 150 years they've wanted a ballroom here. We're going to have the finest ballroom, I believe, anywhere in the world. And he said we need congressional approval. Well, they don't get congressional approval from the White House. When they do things, they don't, especially when we didn't ask for any tax money. We have no tax. This is taxpayer free. We have no taxpayer putting up 10 cents. And I see right here, I just wrote it out. He said we need congressional approval. Well, we built many things at the White House over the years. They don't get congressional approval when they build in the White House. It's totally separate. And especially when it's a donation. I mean, the ballroom is a donation. It's gotten great reviews. People love it. And presidents for 150 years have wanted this ballroom to be built, because when we have President Xi or other presidents or prime ministers coming, we don't have a big room. We have the East Room, which is very small. And he said we need congressional approval. He also said, but this is positive for us, I'm allowed, that meaning we are allowed to continue building as necessary to, let's see, what is that? To cover the safety and security of the White House and its grounds. So it says here very carefully.
There it is, straight from the president. We didn't ask for any tax money. We have no taxpayer putting up 10 cents. And he's absolutely right. Presidents have built things at the White House for generations without congressional approval. This judge invented a new standard out of thin air just to stop Trump. And Trump didn't stop there. He went nuclear on the hypocrites behind this lawsuit. Wait till you see this. We've captured the moment where President Trump calls out the group that sued him and asks a question that no one in the mainstream media wants to answer. The railroad to nowhere, the billions over budget, probably never opens. And these activists have sued over that, have they? No. They only sue when Trump wants to build something beautiful with private money. The hypocrisy is absolutely staggering, but here's where it gets really interesting. Because now people are saying Trump should just ignore this judge entirely. This clip is making waves right now. A legal analyst is now saying what a lot of Americans are thinking, that maybe it's time for President Trump to tell these activist judges to just stay in their lane. Watch.
It now goes to the D.C. Circuit. The notice to appeal filed in 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't remember federal judges striking down FDR or Teddy Roosevelt or Calvin Coolidge or Harry Truman, who all made changes to the White House on executive authority. And of course, President Trump is right that this is being funded privately, so Congress does not need to approve the funds. But I gotta say, I think he should just continue construction. At a certain point, you've got to tell these federal judges to stay in their lane, because this is clearly a ruling made out of spite against the president and has no basis in legal authority. And maybe if Congress were in town to do their jobs, they'd be able to impeach the judge. But unfortunately, it's on President Trump.
Yeah, they have too much of our money. They're going to vacation for 2 weeks.
He said it. continue construction. Tell these federal judges to stay in their lane. And he's right. This ruling was made out of spite. There's no legal basis. FDR, Teddy Roosevelt, Truman, they all made changes. No judge stopped them. This is pure Trump derangement syndrome from the bench. So where does it leave us? I'm going to break down what this really means for America, and here's the bottom line. We have one rogue judge trying to override the President of the United States over a privately funded improvement to the White House. FDR got his pool, Obama got his basketball court, but Trump, he gets lawsuits. It's not about a ballroom. This is about an unelected judiciary that thinks they can run this country. The president is, of course, appealing. Construction continues for safety and security. And more Americans are waking up to the fact that these activist judges need to be reined in. So the radical left will do anything to stop President Trump from succeeding. They called him a king. Well, he can't even build a room. They sued him over private donations while Newsom wastes billions on a train to nowhere. But here's what they don't understand. The American people, we see right through this. We know this is persecution and we're not backing down. If this story fired you up, smash the subscribe button, hit the bell so you never miss our coverage, and share this video with everybody who needs to see the truth about what is happening to our president. Drop a comment below. Should Trump just ignore this activist judge? I want to hear from you. I'm Gary Franchi, outside the West Wing. Stay informed, stay free, and we'll see you at the next report.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.